Hello. Thank you for joining in the Two Pennies, the 2 Cents podcast. Of course, I'm your man Nino, the host. Thank you for the man upstairs waking me up to venture out and have a nice productive day. Thanking him for allowing me to leave and come back safe, good health, and just appreciate you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, to all the people out there, continue to hit that like button for them subscriptions. Thank you for that. I appreciate you to the fullest. To all my followers, my audience, and my fans, hey man, what can I say? This is strictly because of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for dealing with me. Thank you for even when I come up with a topic that you basically don't like and I discuss it, you at least give me some kind of views. I appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me to get a little of your attention. Today, I'm going to discuss a topic that was thrown to me by one of my bosses, because he's been working at the job I've been working. He's one of my superiors for a few years. He's a young guy, but he thinks he's going to eventually venture off and try to do his own thing. He is interested in becoming an entrepreneur. So he asked me, Nino, would you chime in and talk a little bit about this? Is it pressure to become an entrepreneur? Let me say that again. Is it pressure to become an entrepreneur? Financial risks, work-life balances, challenges, and society's expectations. Entrepreneurs have uphill battles for producing and ensuring business success, studying and navigating finances, balancing work with personal life, if there is a personal life. See, an entrepreneur is basically you doing it all by yourself. It's straight up hands-on. You know, a lot of people always say they want to make a certain amount of money. They want to make enough money to work, live, pay their bills, and when they get old, retire and have enough money to live off their retirement and be able to go on vacation, travel the world and do all things that they want to do. But a lot of people want to work and really be their own boss. So I'm going to break down a few little factors of trying to become an entrepreneur as I see it. Now, of course, this is only Nino's opinion. First of all, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, like when you have a company or whatever, you need to have accountants, lawyers, all kind of legal people, and proceed with legal things to get the thing rolling off the ground as being an entrepreneur. But it's not nothing wrong with trying to become an entrepreneur. I read somewhere that between the ages of 25 and 40, 65% of human beings, consumers, or individuals that have went to college or have got them a great, education, are looking very deeply into becoming an entrepreneur. It's cool working at a company, but they kind of want to run their own business and call their own shots. Financial pressure of becoming an entrepreneur. Getting a business off the ground, sure, consists of high stakes and a high risk. From the beginning, investments is total like a roller coaster ride, up and down, with debt and less capital. Entrepreneurs often are dealt with difficult financial issues to keep steady eye on their cash flow, with the ideology that guarantees the business profitability. When you're first trying to start, it's going to be financial. See, I believe entrepreneurship is just like the stock market. Once you get going, first of all, as I have seen people with entrepreneurship, and I have been mentored about a little bit of entrepreneurship by some of my clients that I deal with, when you're first getting off into a business, people, and you're the sole boss, it might be 8, 9, 10 years before you really can start spending your money. I believe the big problem with everybody when you're trying to run your own business or be an entrepreneur is the first little few dollars that you have a couple of commas and zeros and zeros and zeros behind it, you think it's time to go out and borrow. No, because remember, if you're entrepreneurship, you're the brand, the company, but you also have to hire workers. So you can't be just spending that money. Say you start out one year in your entrepreneurship and your company or your brand makes $500,000. Now, of course, you know that's not $500,000 solely going into your pocket. You got overhead, you got to pay for supplies, you got to pay your workers, you know, you have hourly workers, you have payroll. Of course, you have to pay people who are bringing your stuff in, like FedEx and UPS. You know, you have to also pay people that comes and look through your make sure your OSHA and your regulations are right to keep your company running good. That takes money. You know, you have city ordinance. You have a lot of things. So when you first start, hold on tight to that money. And it is high stakes because you just don't know, you know. You, as I say, it can be like, you know, the stock market. You can do good today. You can do good for a week. But then the next following weeks, you might fall off. That's why I believe you need to grasp and hold any money that you're making. If you come out the gate and you making a high number or total sum of money, that's ridiculous right then and there. It's nice to be cool and joyous, but don't get happy. Because sooner or later, that money that you're making, especially you know how companies and you're an entrepreneur, you know, something might happen and you might have to fall back. You know, 2 or 3 months, your company might be rolling, but then again, you know, supply and demand, your workload might slow down. You know, things might slow up. That's why you have to hold your money once you make it, because you still have to function and keep things going. That's why if you obtain or get a little bit of money, substantial sums of money, hold on to it. What I'm trying to say is, when you first start and the financial is going, fluctuating like a roller coaster up and down, but it's favoring more of kind of going north than south, hold on. Still go about your business like you're broke and you don't have no money. Financial issues. Work-life balances and challenges. Entrepreneurship requires a high demand of long, grueling hours, offering and constant concentration and focus on the business, eventually leading to anxiety, stress. You may even burn out, making it vulnerable to sustain a healthy work-life balance. It's going to take hours. It's going to take a long time. You might never get to have no downtime or no leisure time or no playing time because you're putting all you can in your business. Okay, you're an entrepreneur, so what if your employees don't come in? You have to pull. You might have to pull up or fill up the slack. You might have to come. You know, you might have to get things going. So you will work crazy hours. You might work 7 days a week. And I'm just meaning if you're open to the business, maybe 5 days a week, but then you have to work an extra 2 because you have to get things ready. So you have to work a lot. It's a real long work load. Again, you're going to work incredible hours. It's grueling. It's hard. You know, you have to do a lot because you're the entrepreneur. So get ready for that, because what they say always, to get anything, to be successful in anything, you have to work hard. But when you're an entrepreneur, you know, a lot of the onus and the emphasis on you. So you're going to have to dig down deep a lot of times and work. You know, you might not even get to see no time get out. You might not even get to see your friend or nothing like that. You might not have no casual time. You barely really seeing your family. I mean, you have to see your kids as much as you can, But if you're a woman and you got a husband and you're an entrepreneur, you might see them much as you can, but then they got to understand the business is in high demand. The business is right now what has to be due. The business is what the main focus, because you have invested money, put all this time, build, order things to get your company off the ground. So you can't just sit there and let it go to waste. You have to really put in a lot of time, and it's long and it's grueling and it's a lot of anxiety at times, and it can be stressful. So you have to keep your composure and hold tight. But, at times you probably work so hard, women or men, you're looking for a good spa or you're looking for a good massage, just relax a little bit. But it's going to be a long, grueling grind. You can believe that. Society pressure. Let me say that again. Society's pressure. The hustle culture or society long-term goal is to persuade people to start businesses. Yet, the feeling of inadequacy if the pipeline isn't followed. This can produce pressure to continuously grind, build a personal brand, even if it's not what they want. Society, of course, wants you to grind and get your own business, because a lot of entrepreneurs, let's keep it a buck, have been successful. And it's a nice thing to delve off into. I mean, it is cool, and society looks at it like this. When you're an entrepreneur, you can cut a lot of corners, but you can cut a lot of the payroll because, again, you're kind of running a business. You're the boss. You're a lot of time an employee. Sometimes, as I was mentioning, you need accountants. You might be your own accountant. You might keep up with the books. You might be the numbers people. You might be the secretary. You might be the foreman. You might be the lead person. But society sees entrepreneurship is a great thing, the hustle culture, because it is a hustle. And a lot of time, a lot of entrepreneurs usually start out young. You very seldom get an entrepreneur that starts out late. When I mean late, 50, 55 plus, almost 60. Remember when I told you, I think that ratio is 25 to 35, almost 40, 60, 65%. But it's over 50% are with trying to get themselves involved in entrepreneurship. So, society see it as hustle culture see it as something nice, but a lot of society are young people too. So they with, entrepreneurship, because again, if you can make money and be your own boss and call your own shots, who wouldn't love that? The heat is on to succeed. Yes, it is. Entrepreneurs often come up against deep pressures to be successful and may take business good for success and profit. That's right. The pressure can originate from investors, employees, customers, partners piling up more stress. Well, still you got investors. And then remember too, entrepreneurship is a competitive thing, like companies is a competitive thing. You don't have this one column of people or one little selection of people that just do entrepreneurship. A lot of people are delving off in entrepreneurship and getting it done, but like anything else, it's competition. You think somebody sitting on the sideline don't see you getting down with your entrepreneurship and they interested in partaking in this, so they want to get theirs going. It's a competitive thing, just like companies compete with the money, with hiring employees, with the product or what you manufacturing from your entrepreneurship, from your company, from your location that you sell your products or the brand. Also, how the chips might fall. Of course, they're looking at the money, they're looking at the finance, and they're looking at your yearly income, but then they're also looking at your yearly losses. So the heat is on to succeed, but you can originate pressure from investors, because investors they see you doing good, so they want to delve off into it and get a piece of what you're doing. Also, employees and customers, if you're a good entrepreneur and you got a good brand going on, people will love to work for you as an entrepreneur. So that's another thing. Employees are very anxious to get on and work for your company, whatever you have going on, entrepreneurship. And then the customers and the partners piling up is more stress. Well, now, customers can be stressful, but who wouldn't want customers? That's good stress because you're an entrepreneur. You in it to make the money. And when it comes to customers, the more the merrier, right? So I know customers, the more you get can be good, but then again, you also can have them customers that are always, complaining what your product you putting out or something, like they don't like it. One day it's this and one day it's that. So it's the good and the bad, just like companies do. You know how companies have products and brands and manufacture things out, and one day the customer love it, but then the next day the customers are quick to gripe about it. One thing I learned about customers in any kind of business or any kind of sell and trade with customers, hey, don't wear yourself crazy, because you win some with them and you lose some with them. The demands of entrepreneurship can lead to wear and tear. Yes, it can. Large decibels of stress and anxiety and a toll of mental health and well-being. Yes, it can leave a lot of wear and tear, because again, you're delving and you having so much time that you're engulfing yourself and putting yourself off into your business, your entrepreneurship. You don't have no life. You sleep, and then the entrepreneurship, what you doing is what you do when your eyes are open. You try to get a little bit of sleep, but then you lose a lot of sleep. So it's going to take a lot of wear and tear. It takes a mental strain. It takes a physical strain. Stress and anxiety, because you're getting anxious. You don't know what's coming, just like companies. Again, up and down with the business doing good. One quarter the business is doing good, but then the next quarter is about halfway, and then the next quarter, and then kind of slip, under the survival, under the survival line of how much it should be to keep steady with everybody else that you compete with as an entrepreneur. And then again, sooner or later, again, things come back up, level off, and then you back up to where you at. So it's anxiety, because it's never just a steady flow. It's up and down. Again, it's the roller coaster effect. So you have to be prepared for that. Again, I will say it as I said earlier. When you're doing good, be happy, but don't get too overjoyous, confidence, and cocky, because it's just like you can do good, and then by the time a couple of days go through, you can also dip. You can be on the up, but then you can dip at any time. So just remember, stay even keel, I believe, as an entrepreneur, and with your business, with your finances, with the money and everything. Family and friends. Family and friends may push to open a business or pursue a career. Well, that's cool, because I believe the family and friends say we can all keep it within the family and we can all make money. You're an entrepreneur, of course, your family is going to want to get into it with you, especially if they don't have no job, and they'll see you succeeding with that. Only problem I see with that is, sometimes if you're an entrepreneur, you got a company and you hire, especially your family and your close friends, they want to get special treatment. They want to take shortcuts. They don't want to work like the average employee or the average person that you don't know that you are hiring, because they'll think this friendship is beneficial. No, this is still business. We standing 10 toes down. Yeah, you can be my family or my friend, but when you clock in or we starting something with this is a business. We're out here to make money. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm your boss, but I can be your cousin, or I can be your brother, or I can be your uncle later. But when you push that clock or punch that clock and I'm the entrepreneur that you're working for or something like that, you got to realize this is straight business. Don't come up short. Don't take it for granted. We're here to get down and get the money, because all of this still basically is going to fall back on me, whether we succeed or decline. So when you, family and friends here, I see entrepreneurship and you want to get something going, and that's cool, but you have to be level. You have to be ready. You have to come in there with, you're ready to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty too, because this is real serious hard work. Seek support. Reaching out to others, entrepreneurs, mentors, and therapists can provide valuable support and guidance. Yes, just like companies. Entrepreneurs should talk with each other, discuss, different ideas, because that's how companies do. One entrepreneur might have an idea that works. It's not nothing wrong with helping another entrepreneur. Don't be selfish where, you don't want to help nobody else, because remember, somebody helped you. So help out. It's good to discuss that. You might want to go to your therapist, because again, the anxiety, the stress, the wear and tear, the toll is taking on. So now you don't hardly have no life. You need somebody to talk to. I mean, you're just wearing thin. You better, at times you don't know if you coming or you going. But again, entrepreneurs should talk and discuss with each other. Like owners in football, they talk and discuss with each other certain things. Yeah, I know it's competitive because they have their teams and they want their teams to do good, and it's all about the revenue, but they still discuss plans and ways of doing things. That's how entrepreneurs should do. Get together, sit down, have a round table, give input to each other. I think that will go a long way. Give guidance, valuable support. It's not nothing wrong with that. If you winning, you should want somebody else to win, especially if they're in the same field of trade that you're in, and you can give them assistance and apply help to them. Yes, give them some assistance. That's not nothing wrong with them. Give support. I don't think anything is wrong with that. Understanding that setbacks are a normal part of entrepreneurship. The journey can help entrepreneurs avoid feeling discouraged and increase resiliency. Anything's going to be setback. Companies going to be setback. So of course, companies, and they are a committee. They are a large gathering. They are many. They are plenty. If they have setbacks, if you're an entrepreneur on your own, you think you're not going to have setbacks? Yes, you're going to have setbacks. Because if many can have setbacks, or if it's abundance, or if plenty, which meaning a lot of people or a lot of brands or a big company that has a big vast of people is going to have setback that's doing things. Yes, when you're unilateral and you won, you're going to have setbacks. But it makes you stronger. It shows you get experience for it. It's going to bring on a feeling of discouraged. What's not, because setbacks, when big companies, they get discouraged. But you got to keep on pushing, because what does it shows is how am I going to react when I'm knocked to the mat. And when I'm knocked to the mat, I'm supposed to get up off the mat. I'm supposed to respond. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're an entrepreneur. Listen, you came into this game knowing that it's going to be ups and downs. And when you first start, I believe it's going to be more downs than ups. But you should also know that the ups will come, but when you go through the down, it's going to make you strong. It's going to learn you. It's going to give you ideas how to, okay, well then next time I'm going to avoid this. So I just think it's a better thing. Is it pressure to become an entrepreneur? Of course. But people are doing it. It's not nothing wrong with it. Because again, I'm going to go back to how I first started. Who wouldn't love to make their own money, be their own boss, and call their own shots? Is it pressure to become an entrepreneur? 2 cents, 2 pennies, my podcast. I'm Nino. Thank you.